All right. Okay, so we're going to pick up on the 18.2 notes where we left off. So we had talked about like the source reduction, right? We're talking about like kind of like packaging and a lot of the waste that we see in packaging, and also some of the we were talking about the planned obsolescence stuff, right? And some of that type of thing. Um, so source reduction is one of the biggest things in terms of solutions because it's like uh, it's like imagine you have imagine you have a boat like a canoe or something and it's got a hole in it and and water is streaming in. It doesn't really matter how large your bucket is to try to bail it out. You're constantly going to be bailing it out even if you can maintain a certain level. You still have to constantly bail. The solution for fixing that is to plug the hole, right? So and that's kind of like this, like the the trash at the source is kind of like that hole in the water coming in. If we don't reduce the amount of trash that we are producing, the stuff that is going to become trash on purpose, and when I say on purpose, I mean like disposable things and stuff like that. If we don't reduce that at the source, it doesn't really matter how good we become at recycling and reusing because it's just like this constant bailing thing. Like you're just constantly going to be trying to keep up, and as we get more people, it'll just never really be enough. So, is recycling and reusing important? Yeah, it definitely is. But we really have to also concentrate on some of this source reduction as well, or else it'll just kind of be sort of banging our head against the wall constantly trying to fight that. So, um, okay, recycling and reusing. I think for the most part, everybody understands what that means. There is something you might not really have known. There's sort of two categories of recycling: primary and secondary. Primary recycling is a process in which the original waste material is made back into the same material. So, for example, newspapers recycled to make new newspapers. So that would be considered primary recycling. Secondary recycling is a process in which the waste materials are made into different products that may or may not be recyclable. For example, newspapers recycled into cardboard or something like that. Um, One of the things that is impacted by this um, is plastics. So one of the things that a lot of people didn't realize or don't know is that recycling plastic downgrades or reduces its quality. So every time you recycle it, the uses that you can use it for become fewer and fewer because of the quality and then the ability of what you can do with it. So this this is National Geographic, which I feel is a very reliable source. So it says that the same piece of plastic can typically only be recycled about 2 to 3 times before its quality decreases to the point where it can no longer be used. Additionally, each time plastic is recycled, additional virgin material, that means new plastic that hasn't been not from a recycled source, must is usually added to help upgrade the quality, so that the recycled product has a fighting chance in the market against new durable and fresh goods. Um, so so even though we have plastic recycling, there is a limit to that and like basically a shelf life for how many times you can recycle it and how useful it can be. So um, Glass and metal can be recycled infinitely. Unlike plastic, glass and metal, including aluminum, can be recycled infinitely without losing quality or purity in the product. There's no need to add virgin material in the recycling process. Recycling glass and metal is the ultimate form of circular economy. So, um, anybody know why? Like, so they talk about the plastics as like basically plastics have these polymer chains that are man-made, like we go through chemical reactions to make these polymer chains. Anytime it's recycled, the polymer chains get broken or degraded, and it doesn't maintain its properties as well. Then, um, any ideas why metal and glass can be recycled infinitely?
I can only think of one for glass
Uh-huh.
because it doesn't react with anything.
Okay.
And it doesn't exactly change over time.
Yeah, very stable. So in the recycling process, you're probably not going to degrade the actual compounds that make it up or whatever.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, good.
It's probably more natural too than man-made.
Yes.
Glass, metal, sand, metal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, metals, right? Metals, yeah, we might mine them as ores or whatever, but in general, most metals are elements, right? So it just kind of is what it is. You melt it down, you solidify it or whatever. You're just changing the state of matter. You're not really changing what it is. Yeah, good, good, good. Um, so so why do we use plastic? They talk about like that. Um, there's there's several reasons: safety, consistency and stability of products without risk of breaking. Plastic is flexible. It does not it doesn't degrade very easily. Like it will degrade, but not real easily. Like it can hold up to stuff. It's flexible. You don't have the breakage potential that you do in glass. Um, Also, the weight difference. Plastic is very light, so shipping costs are decreased significantly over metal and glass. Um, so so then it talks about like it's not switching from plastic isn't always the it's not that it's not a good goal, but you have to consider the other effects. They talk about like if you switched everything to metal or glass, in terms of the trash, it might be better, but right here, there's going to be a really large negative effect on the environment from more fuel burning from the transportation because you have to transport more. It's heavier. It takes more fuel to transport it, stuff like that. So, you do have to consider some of these other impacts that these things have. So, the everything else category. Okay. So, um, so let me ask you guys this: do you guys know any uses like, okay, so for example, rubber. Any ideas like tires? How do they recycle tires? Yeah, tracks, right? The field turf tracks or whatever. So let's see if I can get this bigger here. Maybe. Okay. Tire derived fuel. So tires turned into some kind of a fuel source from the materials. Ground rubber, land disposed, that would mean thrown away. Civil engineering. Any idea what that would be?
That when they like
It's kind of interesting. To some.
highway.
Yeah,
Stuff.
yeah. They can use it as like different bases for different, like pavers or like paving bases, or they can use it in mixtures for that kind of stuff. What's that?
For like exits that have high old
Yep. Or even like, yeah, stuff like that. All kinds of things. Or even like literally because like when you that's something I found out that they can use. I think they put ground glass in it too in some cases, is the literally the base for paving when you're making a new road, when you make the base for it, like before you pour down like the asphalt or whatever, like you have to build up that base. And sometimes like scrap, I think like rubber and like glass and stuff is like ground and like used as part of the base for that. Old concrete is too. Obviously, that's um, like stones and stuff like that. But yeah, so like, um, but like yeah, like ground rubber, like track, track material, things like that. So um, they so this is one that I literally just found out um, about, which was kind of depressing to me. I have, hold on, let me grab. Um, oh, dang, dude. Okay. I will show you guys that tomorrow then.